Hello YouTube. It's been a busy year so far, and I've been shooting the polymer frame guns, I think, exclusively this year. I was looking through my calendar. I think the last time I shot my steel frame guns very much, at the range maybe they had a few mags or whatever, but the last time I taught or trained with them, I think was in November, December. So anyway, at least 5 full months of using the polymer frame guns exclusively, and I thought it'd be fun just to talk about kind of some observations from shooting these guns before I switch back to steel frame guns, at least for a little bit. So, whatever you get used to is kind of what you like. Well, maybe I'm projecting, at least for me. So, last year, I shot mainly the steel frames for a lot of the years, and I get to the point, man, I like the steel frames. They feel great in the hands. I really prefer that. The polymer frame guns are okay, but I would prefer the steel frame guns. Then, after shooting these a lot for 5 months, then I kind of got to the point where it's like, hey, I was texting my friend Nick Young. I was like, I think I might like the polymer frame guns better. So anyway, now I'm sure I'll switch back to the steel frame guns, shoot those for a few months, and think those are better. But anyway, I thought I'd just talk through some observations, stuff that I do like about this stuff, and just some things I noticed. So, first off, what do I like? The polymer guns are easier on your hands. Let's be real. The Walthers, it's not like the checkering on the front strap is all that sharp or anything like that. But just in general, whether it's this or a Glock or whatever, I like that the polymer frame guns are just, well, obviously being polymer, not being metal or checkered, they are just easier on your hands, especially for high round count days. Pretty fortunate. Well, this week I could shoot a lot of ammo. There's been a couple weeks this year where it was as much ammo as I wanted to shoot, which was a lot of fun. And so anyway, having some pretty high round count days, kind of appreciate how easy these are on the hands. And one thing I noticed, especially a couple of the trips, there were really hot ammo there for me to shoot. And I'll just, especially if I have the opportunity, I'm going to shoot the same ammo as what the people in the class are shooting, or if I'm shooting with friends, just because I don't want to have students in a class say like, oh, you're able to do that because you have lighter ammo or whatever. So anyway, I just load the same ammo off the same table. And one thing I noticed with heavy recoiling ammo, I feel like the polymer frame guns are less violent or less shock. I'm sure somebody could tell me the reasons why it is or isn't, but especially when the slide is like bottoming out at the back end of the recoil stroke before it goes back down. I don't have long stroke guide rods in these or anything, just regular. But it feels like there's just less shock in the hand when shooting a polymer frame gun compared to the steel frame gun. Even if you just lock the slides open and let it slap shut, with a polymer frame gun, it doesn't hit your hand at all like a metal frame gun does. So anyway, especially for hot ammo, I do prefer the polymer frame guns. I also noticed, especially drawing the gun, this is easier to draw it fast just because the gun's lighter itself. Mag changes, because it's polymer framed, metal isn't going to catch on polymer or bind like it would on a steel frame gun. So I feel like gun handling, draws, and reloads are a little bit easier with this gun, and I really appreciate that stuff. Overall, I think the frame, now after messing with the steel frame gun for a couple days, and then messing with this again, it's like, man, maybe the grips on these are just a little bit small, so I'll appreciate having a little bit larger frame grip. This is a steel frame Walther PDP. This one I'll be shooting, well, at least for a bit. I'm excited to try this one more. I got this one from Parker Mountain Machine. So it's got a dual port comp. It's a 4-inch slide on a 5-inch frame. So like an inch of the comp, which makes it fit in the same holster for a 5-inch gun. So anyway, my plan is to shoot this now for a bit. Just see what I can learn. And honestly, I'm interested to see after I shoot this, and then I'll shoot my regular 5-inch steel frame non-comped guns for the next couple months, and then just see at the end of it if I decide these are way superior, and I don't know why I was shooting polymer frame guns or vice versa, because maybe it's just because I get so used to shooting something. It kind of feels like, I don't know, home or something familiar, where I'm just used to drawing the gun, reload the gun. I've been shooting these out of an ALS for the last couple weeks, and it's just like, all of a sudden, that Safariland holster with an ALS felt like a GX, like a competition holster that I've been using for years. Just because when you use it every single day or every other day and constantly working with it, it becomes, I don't know, natural or familiar in a way that you're just like, it's kind of weird drawing from a holster that doesn't have an ALS now. Like I said, just because you get used to that over and over again and kind of familiar. So I've really enjoyed shooting the polymer frame guns, and I don't know, like I think they're pretty awesome. So anyway, the steel frame felt very weird, even drawing this thing from a holster. I did a little dry fire last night with it, and just lifting it up out of the holster, I was like, man, this gun's heavy, especially with a magazine in it full of dummy rounds. These things are super heavy, but fast forward a month, and I'm sure the polymer frame guns will be so light that I'll feel like I want to throw them across the room, and I can't believe I ever trained with or shot a handgun that weighed so little. So it's probably all relative. But anyway, I'm super excited to switch back and shoot steel frame now just for a bit to see what I can learn, observations, that kind of thing. The one biggest part that's probably the plus or a pro for the steel frame, specifically for this comparison, the Walthers, is removable grip panels. So you can change the grips to be thicker, thinner, whatever you want, compared to what I've done on the polymer frame guns. Well, my friend John did a silicone carbide to this, so it's somewhat permanent, but it's like a skateboard tape type of finish where it's some epoxy, JB weld, and then just carbide sprinkled on top. So it's kind of permanent. You could take it off, but you'd be messing it up a bit. Instead, this is the same finish, just done to the factory Walther grips, which are also removable. These just makes the grip feel a little bit thicker, feel in the hand a little bit better, but it's not permanent. So if I decide I don't like it, I could always remove the frame, or I'm sorry, remove the grips and put something else on. So anyway, that's what I got going on. I am excited to get back on shooting the steel frame gun. I think at distance, not even the comped gun, just in general, the 5-inch steel frame gun will be better at distance. Up close, I reckon they'll be about the same, but it'll be interesting to see just what I learn and observe. I'm kind of a nerd about this stuff, so I'm interested in just seeing what I can learn, compare and contrast, that kind of stuff. So anyway, hopefully find that interesting. If you have any thoughts, drop it below. I try my best to read through the comments, and appreciate you watching.